All right, let's talk about a critical flaw in how most people analyze two of the most disruptive forces in our economy: artificial intelligence and energy. We're going to challenge those simple, comforting stories and build a much more robust framework for seeing what's really going on beneath the surface. This quote, it just gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? It suggests that our relentless search for easy answers, especially in the world of investing, is exactly what creates our biggest blind spots. We end up simplifying away the very messiness where the real risks and, of course, the real opportunities are hiding. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll dig into the problem itself, our deep attraction to simplicity. Then, we'll put it to the test with two massive case studies: AI and energy. And from there, we'll build our way toward a much more powerful, integrated solution. So, why do we keep falling into this trap of oversimplification? Well, the answer really starts with the foundational tools of modern finance itself. You know the standard toolkit: discounted cash flow models, factor regressions, all of it. These tools give us this powerful illusion of control. They are absolutely brilliant at explaining the past with mathematical precision, and in doing so, they create this comforting but ultimately false sense of certainty about the future. And the core appeal, of course, is our promise of simplicity. The promise that you can distill a wildly complex world into a single number, a clean buy or sell signal. But, and this is the absolute crucial point, this kind of simplicity isn't clarity. It's truncation. It is the act of literally cutting off the messy, the unpredictable, the truly complex parts of reality, just because they don't fit neatly into a spreadsheet. And this is precisely where the danger lies. Because markets that are driven by true nonlinear disruption, where the fundamental rules of the game are being rewritten in real time, will always, always punish those who try to cram a new reality into an old, truncated framework. Okay, let's make this real. We'll turn to our first case study and see exactly how this plays out in the world of artificial intelligence, which is a perfect example of a nonlinear shock. The common story, the consensus view, is that AI is basically a tool to increase corporate efficiency. And, that's simple, it's reasonable, but it is dangerously shallow. The reality is that AI is a fundamental productivity shock with massive macroeconomic consequences that will reshape labor, capital, and entire supply chains. So framing it correctly forces us to ask a much deeper, much more important question. It's not about which companies have AI exposure. The real question is who actually captures the value from this systemic shock, and at what kind of scale. And the answer, you see, lies in understanding that AI creates incredibly powerful winner-take-most conditions. Advantages in data, in compute power, and in talent, they aren't just additive, they compound. They create these immense structural barriers that are almost impossible for others to overcome. This just illustrates the dynamic perfectly. Value isn't being distributed widely, like a rising tide lifting all boats. No, it's being concentrated. It's being captured and funneled toward a select few at the top. Now, let's take this exact same lens and see how this failure of simplicity applies to the foundational layer of our entire global economy: energy. Oh, the market just loves a clean storyline. For energy, it's renewable inevitability. Green will simply replace black on a neat linear path. But the reality is so much messier. Global energy demand is growing so fast that what we call the transition is actually an addition of new sources on top of the old ones, not a simple replacement. See, energy isn't a single industry. It is a deeply interconnected system of systems. A bottleneck in rare earth mining over here, or a strain on grid transmission over there, creates these cascading effects everywhere else. You simply cannot analyze one piece in isolation and expect to understand the whole. Okay, so if these simple models fail us for both AI and energy, what's the alternative? Let's build towards the synthesis, a better approach. The solution has to be a multidisciplinary synthesis. It's about building an integrated framework that forces us to connect what seem like disparate fields: technology, policy, supply chains, and geopolitics, to understand the true constraints and opportunities that live at their intersections. And what this framework does is fundamentally shift your focus. Instead of getting mesmerized by the exciting exponential potential of a technology itself, it forces you to look for the real-world logistical friction that governs its actual deployment. And in the world of investing, this is it. This is where you find alpha, that outperformance everyone is chasing. It doesn't come from following the simple popular narrative. It comes from understanding the complex, constrained reality better than anybody else. And this brings us to the final crucial takeaway. This isn't just about a new model. It's about adopting an entirely new mindset to navigate this complexity. Here's the uncomfortable truth. We have to choose between two modes of thought. There's fast thinking, which feels good. It's easy, it relies on simple stories, it confirms our biases, it makes you feel right. But then there's slow thinking. That's the hard work of synthesis. It's what actually enables you to understand what is really happening. Ultimately, the goal isn't to build a more complex spreadsheet just for the sake of it. The goal is to cultivate a deeper, more accurate, and frankly, more resilient grasp of reality by embracing its inherent complexity, not running from it. So as you go out and analyze the next great disruption, ask yourself this one question. Is your framework built for reality as it actually is? Or is it built for the comfortable fiction you wish existed? The answer to that question could make all the difference.